Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to talk about 5 things that I don't like about my job. Now, what I do for a job, I graduated as a civil engineer, but I work at a construction company. We do structural. We have other things that we do here, but here are 5 things that I don't like from um, this type of job, structural job. Not necessarily about this company, like in general, like from the experience I've had with other jobs as well. And these are not bad things. These are just things that is gonna happen. It doesn't matter what type of company that you work in. If it's in construction, you're probably gonna have to be exposed to these type of things sooner or later. And these are just things that I just don't like. There's nothing wrong or bad with this. Now, the first one are site visits. Now, I love site visits. They are fun. They are a different change of environment. You get like to be out of the office, see some cool stuff, do cool stuff. But a lot of times they are very time consuming, depending when, especially when they are far away. So, for example, sometimes I have to go to, I don't know, have to drive 3 hours or 2 hours and a half to do a site inspection, and then I'm there like for 1 hour to do the inspection. Then like I have to go eat, and then I come back, and by the time I'm driving back, I'm like falling asleep. I'm like, ugh. So that's one thing that I really don't like, because especially for me, I don't like driving tired. Because like it has happened to me that I'm like this, not in here. Like when I was in college, I used to drive a lot. I would be driving, and like one time this happened to me. I was driving, and I was just like, so it's very scary, and you need to be careful about that stuff. And it's something that you needs to be done. A lot of times, if you're doing a site visit and it's very far away, just like take a quick break. Sometimes I do that. I grab a power nap when I'm coming back, and when I start getting sleepy. But that is one thing that I do. Hey guys, sorry, I got a package. I'm during my lunch break, by the way, so don't think I'm slacking at work. Now, that was the first thing. Now, the second thing that I usually is something that has to be done. Is sometimes meetings. Sometimes you have these construction meetings, and like for example, in these meetings, you have like everyone. You have the architect, you have the MEP, you have the civil, you have the water people, you have everyone. And sometimes they're just boring and long, and yeah, of course they're relevant and important, but I just don't like being in some of them. Like they just take forever, and like a lot of the things that they talk about is just not relevant. But they need to be done, and sometimes you need to be mindful of. You need to be hearing this stuff, because a lot of times they will be talking about stuff that is relevant to the project and relevant to you, but they are just long, and sometimes you just like, I want to do it, but it need to be done. The third one is reviewing drawings, shop drawings. Well, not drawings. Drawings is okay. Reviewing shop drawings. A lot of times, the connection contractor or whoever is the manufacturer, they send you their drawings for the project, so that you can review what type of door they're gonna do for TDI, for type of connection, type of roof sheeting and stuff like that. And you need to review it. And sometimes, like especially some of these shop drawings are just like weird. And at least for me, maybe for you they're easier. And it's just a lot of reading and a lot of like searching in Google and backtracking and stuff like that. And it's something that it's just like but it needs to be done. All right. So that's the third one. The fourth one, I have it here. It's working long hours. Now, nobody likes working long hours. Nobody likes staying after work to finish something. It's just human nature. You want to like work your 8 hours and then go home and be with your family, or rest, or work out, or do whatever the hell you want to do, right? But it cannot be avoided, especially in construction. I have seen that a lot of times you need to work long hours, because a lot of times the project demands it, especially when you have deadlines coming up. In here, in this company, it hasn't been that bad. I haven't stayed that long, like that late, so many times, maybe 3 or 4 times. I've stayed until like 8, which that's pretty good. That's nothing that I cannot handle with. But I remember at a past company I used to work with, I remember this one time. I got there at work at 8. It was 10 p.m. and I had a sleeping bag in my car. So I literally just grabbed the sleeping bag and I slept at the office. Then I woke up at 6 a.m. and then I left 10 a.m. the next day, 10 p.m. the next day. So I was and this was on a weekend too. So this happened Friday. Then Saturday, I woke up early and I left until 10 p.m. So that was horrible. And I hated that. I hated doing that. And in that company, I used to do that type of thing a lot, just because the way the company was structured. Like we would we would like take it easy most of the time, and then like the last week we would like cram everything. I mean, it's fine. A lot of people work like that. I personally, I don't care either way because usually we would make it up, but it's something that a lot of people are not comfortable with. A lot of people, they want to like be done with work and go home. And in structural or in construction, you will have to work late. It doesn't. I mean, it's just like a demand of the work because, like, for example, maybe somebody messed up, or maybe, oh, you missed something, or something came up and they want it for tomorrow. You need to stay and get it done. So that's one thing you need to be mindful if you want to go into structures and construction. You're going to be working late. I mean, it is what it is. Now, the fifth one, and this is one of the most, this personally I think the most important one, and this is the one that I really, really don't like, and like sometimes there's just no way to avoid it, are the risks. I mean, usually like you're in your office, you're sitting pretty chill, all cool and stuff like that, right? No problem. But especially when you go on the site, there's risk that, like, for example, you need to be very careful about what you're doing and how you're doing it. Like, for example, for me, I don't like heights. I don't like going up on stairs or roofs and stuff like that. But I mean, I have to do it. Like, it scares me a lot. But I mean, it's part of the job, and like, you have to do it. I remember this one time, a bunch of times I've been very scared. Like one time it was like a 3-story building, and they literally just grab a stair and put it like that. And first, like, I'm scared of heights too. Like, I mean, that thing when that stair was moving a lot. But I was like, damn it. And then I was like, is there another way to like go up? Is there a harness I can use or something? And they were like, no. So I'm like, well, screw me, right? So I had to go the 3-story up, and like I was so scared, and like getting down was horrible as well. But I mean, it's just part of the job. Like, it's just something that you need to do. That's why you have good health insurance, right? And it's just something that you need to do. Like, for example, another time I remember I had to get into the rooftop of a house, and it was like a very sloped house to check for some like damage. And I just didn't like that either because I felt I was going to sleep or something. And because it was like during hurricane season, so it was all wet and slippery. And I didn't have any type of special shoes and stuff like that. The same when you go check like for a drilling operation, or when there's like heavy machinery, you need to be mindful of where you're walking. Because I have friends who have been in accidents. Like, I remember there was this friend who was like close to an hydraulic, I don't know, like one of those hydraulic things. And I guess he turned, he was close, and it hit him on the face. So, I mean, like, he was out like for 2 weeks. Like, he had to like have leave because it broke something. I think it broke like his face or something. I don't know. And I've heard of people like falling from a rooftop because they're not careful, or like stepping wrong and like falling through a beam or something like that. So that's something that you need to be careful with, and you need to be considering if you want to go into construction, because a lot of times there's just no way to avoid site visits. You will have to do them. So the 5 things. The 5 things that I just don't like about, not my job, like about the construction environment and the structure in general. And these are things that you want to have into account if you want to go into construction and structural engineering. Let me know if you like this video, and if you liked it, give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Have a good one, guys.